Gall, where's Gall? Gall. Go ahead, yay, come on up. Let's give Gall a big hand. We're just so excited to have him here with us. He survived the attack that happened on October 7th. He was in the kibbutz where everyone was being murdered, okay, right when that rave festival was going on, which is next door to his kibbutz. And so he's going to share with you a little bit about the event, what happened to him and his family and how they survived. So we're very excited to have him here and his cohort, Shoshana. I don't know if she's in here. Oh, there she is in the back. Wave again. Everyone give her a big hand. Yay! Shoshana is the one who started this nonprofit organization called the Faces of October 7th. That's right. Okay, and after Gall speaks, she's going to come up and talk a little bit about that. But we're so thrilled to actually have someone here who experienced it. Because even now they're saying that a lot of it didn't happen. Can you believe it? So with that, we want to turn it over to Gall.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Can you hear me well? Is it okay? First, I would like to thank you all of you coming here today to listen or staying here to listen to what I have to say. I would like to say thank you to the audience back home, all over the world, as the pastor said. And I would like to thank Shoshana and the Faces of October 7th organization. They were the one that was able to make it possible for me to come here. So thank you very much, all of you, again. So in Israel, on October 7th, it was Saturday morning. We celebrated the Simchat Torah. It's a Jewish holiday. This is when everything just began. So what I wanted you will see, this is a map of Gaza and Gaza envelope. On October 7th, more than 3,000 terrorists broke the border between us to Gaza. They entered Israel. What you see here, it's a list of kibbutzes. Kibbutz, if you're not familiar with that word, it's small. It's like a small town, like small socialist village community village, which the population is somewhere between 500 to 1,000 people. So what I wanted you will see on that map, on October 7th, they broke the border. They entered all the army bases around Gaza. They knew that we are celebrating a holiday in Israel, and they used it. Like 50% of the soldiers went back home to their family to celebrate the holiday. So there were many army bases. They entered all the army bases around Gaza, and they entered all the kibbutzes around Gaza as well. Okay, in those kibbutzes we had no soldiers, no policemen or anything at all. There was only civilians there, so they entered all the kibbutzes as well. What I really want to show you on this map, this is where my kibbutz is, Reim. It's exactly in the middle of Gaza envelope. After they captured some of the terrorists inside our kibbutz and investigate them, why many of them came to Reim, so they said that Reim is exactly in the middle of Gaza envelope, and they planned to conquer all the kibbutzes and then move forward into Israel to the big cities. And Reim is exactly in the middle of it. And another thing is that Reim sits on a very important junction where the army tried to bring, and the army and the police tried to bring lots of reinforcement into the war. And the Hamas knew that. So this is why they came to Reim, and this is why we had such a big war next to kibbutz Reim. Well, me and my family, we moved to kibbutz Reim on October 1st. So next time that you people think that you have bad luck in your life, just remember the Israeli guy that came and he wasn't even for 1 week there. So it said, this is the sign that was on our door. It said, Gal, Ayana, my wife, and our kids, easy on boarding. A bit above of that, you can see a bullet from AK-47. I will go back to it later. So about at 6:30 a.m. we start to hear lots of sirens going on, lots of rockets, lots of our Iron Dome missiles taking down the terrorist rockets. And I told my wife that I'm entering the safe room with my kids. All right, a safe room, I will explain what a safe room is. It's just another room in our apartment, which a bit thicker walls and heavy door and window, and it's supposed to protect you against rockets. That's it. If a rocket will fall next to you. So it was like that. It was 6:30 a.m. I told my wife, we are entering the safe room. Please arrange a suitcase. We will need to go far away and as soon as possible. So we did it, but it was very hard for her. She had to stay as well inside the safe room because there were many sirens going on, warning us of missiles. So it was like that. At 7:30 a.m., the guy from our kibbutz, like in a kibbutz, on each neighborhood there is one guy that is in charge of for like emergency situation like this one. So his name was Nadav. He gave me a call and he asked me like, Gal, what's going on? So I told him 2 things. The first thing is that where there was supposed to be a vent in our safe room, there was no vent and there was no lid in the other side to cover it. So I told him we need to have a lid. So if a rocket will fall and there will be a fire, nothing will enter our safe room. The second thing is that I told Nadav that we want to go. We want to live like, I'm from another kibbutz, but in the eastern part of the Negev, much safer place, and I told him that we want to go there. When Nadav told me that it's not possible, he asked me if I hear the shooting outside. I told him, yeah. At the beginning, I thought that all those shooting outside, I thought that this is the Israeli, the IDF, the Israeli army trying to take down the terrorists that shooting rockets on us. So Nadav told me no, that the terrorists broke the border, they're in Israel, and there is a big fight out of our kibbutz, and it's too dangerous to live. So we have to stay inside the safe room. Well, to be honest, that was the first time that my life was saved, because after we left the kibbutz, I saw all the burned cars and everything outside, and I knew exactly that like 100% they would have killed us. They already controlled the road next to our kibbutz. And yeah, this is the first time that my life was saved. So we stayed there for more time. I will show you how everything started in kibbutz Reim. This is a guy that tried to escape from the Hamas. This is 7:54 a.m. was in the morning. He tried to enter the kibbutz, but he didn't only ask and open it, and he didn't know anyone from the kibbutz. So now he's trying to go backward. Now what you will see, it's Hamas pickup trucks. Each one of them had about 12, 15 Hamas terrorists. Well, for this guy, it was too late, of course. They murdered him. You see how many cars, how many pickup trucks there is. You even can see that some of them continue on the road. With one reason, to be honest, was only one reason. Now they're entering the kibbutz. They were fully equipped, AK-47, PKs, machine guns, RPG anti-tank missile. They came with stretchers. They came with first aid equipment. They had everything with them. They bring lots of food and lots of water with them. They planned to stay for long. They threw the body of the poor guy and they took his car. They threw him on the trees next to the road. They bring like RPG missiles, anti-tank missiles with them. I can guarantee in the kibbutz we had only 6 armed guys, only with M16. We had no tanks or anything like that. They had only one plan for those missiles, is to take down houses with civilians. All of us, we were only civilians inside. Nothing else. You can see that on the top screen, there is still many pickup trucks. All of them were supposed to enter Kibbutz Re'im. The only reason that they didn't enter, it's because they stayed there, and I don't know if I mentioned, there was like the music festival, the Nova Music Festival, that was held just next to us. So people try to escape the Nova Festival, and they try to escape the kibbutzes as well. So those guys just waited on the road, and for them it was just like shooting ducks in a range. Simple as that. All the people come towards them. So it was so easy for them to kill civilians. This is why they stayed there. I don't know if you saw on the media or somewhere all the photos of the burned cars. This is exactly where it was. If you didn't, Google it, and you will see how many cars there were over there. So this is why they stayed outside. They were planned to enter the kibbutz. I'm always saying I feel a bit sad because some of the people, my life was saved because someone else's life didn't. All right, those guys were planning to enter the kibbutz, but eventually they stayed there. This is a video footage from our factory. They just pretty much entered the kibbutz. They're just going and looking for civilians, just like that. Not even one soldier, not even one policeman. This guy has RPG with him. He's just going and looking for like houses and civilians and cars to take down. No, they're just going and like looking for people to kill or to kidnap. Now they're entering the kibbutz. The next footage, it will be fast, but those are the first hostages from our kibbutz. They're taking them. Okay, that was the beginning. It was 8:14 a.m. That was the beginning. That was the first time. Since they entered the kibbutz at 8 a.m. It took them 14 minutes to start take the first hostages. In Israel, still we didn't know. No one knew what's going on. So this is how everything started. That was the beginning. I want to show you an aerial photo of our kibbutz. What I mentioned here on the top, this is the main entrance to the kibbutz. The road above, this is the road with all the burned cars that you saw. And I mentioned that the Israeli army tried to bring reinforcement. It was from that road, all right? And it was that junction. So there was a very big war. Both of the sides knew how important this road is. This is how everything started. They entered the kibbutz from above. They came all the way this road to this parking lot. They knew exactly where to go. They had pictures, they had maps of our kibbutz. they knew they had plans. They planned it for years. It's not just something that they made up. So they came to this parking lot. This is my house, about 200 feet from where they were planned to establish the front base. In this front base, there were always like 20, 30 guys with all the food and the water, and this is where they bring all the injured guys from the war to put them there. This is where their commander was as well. After I left, after we escaped Kibbutz Reim, I spoke with one of the security team guys, and he told me, Gal, you know how my day started? So I asked him how. He told me his house is this one. Okay, so his name was Asaf. So Asaf told me, I opened the door, and then I saw 10 terrorists lying with their face towards the road 232, and shooting civilians with RPGs and machine guns. So instead of entering the kibbutz, they were lying there with their face towards the road, killing innocent people. So Asaf left his house and he started to shoot those guys from the back. All right, and they didn't even understood that there is someone from the kibbutz that's shooting at them. So this is how Asaf day started, and this is how everything started. Now this is my family. This is me and my wife, my twins Omer and Rona, and Yonatan Akatan. And about 8:15, we had in our WhatsApp group of the kibbutz a message. And the message was that Dvir was murdered. Dvir is a guy that I knew. I used to be a very good friend of his ex-wife. And Dvir lived like about 300 feet from where I live. And in that moment, I already knew that they're inside the kibbutz. I knew exactly what's going on. I knew that they're moving from house to house, cleaning this house from civilians. And I just counted the minute till they will be on my house. I kept heard the shooting coming towards me. And like it was like a routine that you hear a hand grenade, and then you hear like few AK-47 shots, and then quiet. And I knew that they're moving from house to house. They're cleaning the house from civilians. And I just waited. I counted the minutes until they will come and kill me. At that point, I knew 100% that they're gonna kill me. I always thought that it's so not fair for the kids. It's just not daytime. Not yet. They're too young for that. Well, so I kept hearing the shooting coming towards me. Eventually, they arrived. They were on my house. I start to hear the bullets. The bullets start to hit me, to hit our house. I served in Sayeret Golani. It's one of the best top units that the Israeli army has. Okay, I've been under fire. I was afraid for my life. But nothing can prepare you for the day that you will afraid for your kid's life. It's a whole new level that you cannot even imagine. I never thought that I will feel something like that. It was something else. And I was afraid. And I remember that I told myself that from now on it's only about them. They were on my house. I told you before that there was a hole in our safe room. Pretty much they could have just come, throw a hand grenade into our safe room and take us all down. Simple as that. And I knew that if I will see the grenade, I knew 100% that I'm going to die, and I was okay with that. I knew that if I will see the hand grenade coming into our safe room, I will jump on it. I will die, but maybe 100% I will die from that, but maybe I will save, that's the only way I can save my wife and my kids' life. And I waited, and I waited to see this grenade. So they start to shoot on our house, and my kids start to scream. They were afraid. You can imagine yourself, you guys will be afraid. Me and my wife, we were afraid as well. I was about to collapse. Till my wife told me that I need to show some, to bring self-confidence to the kids. And I drank some water and I was okay. But all of us, we were afraid, and the kids start to scream. We heard all the Arab screaming outside, and we heard the shooting hitting our wall, and we just waited. So the kids start to scream. The three of them, they start to scream. And we had to explain them that they need to be quiet. Otherwise, they will reveal that there is people inside the house. So they need to be quiet. So the twins understood, and they kept quiet. But little Jonathan was scared. He was not even 3 years old on October 7th, and he continued to scream and shout. So my wife had to keep his mouth shut. So she put her hand on his mouth. Well, you need to understand that we are all next generations for Holocaust survivors, and we do have this story about the woman that had to strangle her son, her baby, so we won't reveal them that they're inside the house, because there were Nazis outside of the house. So she had to strangle him. So then my wife started to cry. She said that she cannot do that. So I went there, and I had to put my hands on his mouth, and it was like that. Every 10-15 seconds, I took my hands off so he will be able to breathe, and then I put it back. It was like that for a few minutes until he was calm. Well, eventually they arrived. They tried to open the door. I knew that if they will enter the house, I will get out of the safe room. Well, I thought that if I will get out of the safe room, maybe they will kill me or kidnap me. But that's the only way I can save my kids and my wife's life. We do know that it didn't work very well for another family, the Bibas family from Kibbutz Nir Oz. The father left the safe room with the terrorist. They kidnapped him, and then they went back to kidnap his wife and their two redhead babies. I don't know if you saw them. They're still there. But this is what I thought. So they tried to open the door. Just imagine yourself. The only thing that separates you and the angel of death is just a simple wooden door that any one of you can give it a kick and break it. Eventually they didn't open the door, so they start to shoot on the door. They start to shoot on the window next to the door. Maybe they thought that we will be afraid and we will surrender, we will get out of the safe room and will come towards them, and then that's the way they will either kill us or kidnap us. So eventually they left. They moved to my friend's house, my neighbor house, Ben. Ben forgot to lock the door in the morning. So they entered, they threw a hand grenade to his living room, and the hand grenade didn't explode. And that was the only reason they didn't enter to his house. They were afraid from their own grenade. So this is what saves Ben's life and Ben's family's life. So it was like that until 2:30. Only at 2:30 p.m. after 8 hours, the army forces arrived. And then there was a very big war inside our kibbutz. How do I know that? I can notice, as I mentioned before, I can notice the difference between AK-47 bullets to M16 bullets. And finally, I heard some M16 rifles. So from that point, I was like, until then I was very stressful, but then I knew that the terrorists, instead of trying to kill civilians, they're like trying to protect themselves from the army. So it was like that for many, many hours. Only at 6 p.m., after 12 hours, the army arrived at my house. They start to move from house to house to check what's going on. And they called me out from the safe room, and they told me like they checked that everything okay. So then they moved to Ben's house, and they tried to bring Ben out of the safe room, and Ben didn't want to, so they called me. And like after like 10 minutes that I'm trying to convince Ben to get out of the safe room, eventually he came out. And so I asked Ben like, why didn't you came when we called you? So he said, he told me that he saw a movie that in another kibbutz, they took one of the hostages and they put a gun on his head, and they told him, now you're going to call all your neighbors to get out of their safe rooms. And this is what he did. So he called all the guys from the safe room, and then the terrorists killed them. And Ben thought that it's the same with me, that they pull a gun on my hand, and this is why he preferred to stay there. He was too afraid that they're doing the same thing for me. They already kidnapped me. So it was like that. We stayed in our safe room until 11. There was still, even though the terrorists, like the army moved that marked that our house is safe, there was still war going on in the kibbutz. Well, until 11 p.m. At 11 p.m., I told you before that our safe room wasn't safe anymore. There was many bullets, and I told you that there is a hole in it. So they moved us to another safe room with very nice couple. Under fire though, but they moved us to another safe room. You need to understand that till then we had only one bottle of water. We had no food. We drank some crackers. We did our needs in a small trash can, the whole family. So this is how everything was until 11 p.m. At 11 p.m. they moved us to a very nice couple house, which with a normal safe room. And so I spoke with the couple there, and they told me like how lucky they were because their daughter was in the Nova Festival, and she left on Friday night because she had to go to work on Saturday. So they have so much luck, and they are very lucky people. So we all went to bed. We didn't sleep very well because there was still shooting going on in our kibbutz. And then I woke up at 7, and about 7 a.m. in the morning, I went out to make some fast breakfast for everyone. And suddenly 2 army officers arrived. They told me, they asked me if it's possible that I will bring the couple out of the safe room. So I bring them. They sat on the sofa, and right in front of me, they said that their son was murdered on his way to his base. He was recruited to the reserves, and he was murdered. So just like that, in 10 hours, everything, like 8 hours, from the happiest people, they become the saddest. You don't want to be there next to parents that receive this message. Yeah, it was very sad. Well, this is my front door with bullets. This is this is from hand grenade, the big hole that you see. This is our window. Pretty much they just came and start to shoot like that from the bottom, maybe from the bottom or maybe from the top to the bottom. They thought that we will surrender. This is how it looks like. This is our walls inside the house. There were many bullets. One of them hit the refrigerator. Well, I'm always saying that I don't know which company this refrigerator is, but I'm pretty sure that they can take the price up now. It's a bulletproof refrigerator, and they can make like 100% bulletproof, and they can make very good money of knowing that. So yeah, but at the beginning we thought about maybe we will let's go and buy a new refrigerator. Yeah, but then we thought we put a magnet of our wedding, me and my wife's wedding, on it to hide it, and we thought it will be very symbolic. So like that we passed it, that we survived. So we still have this refrigerator. On our walls there is many bullets, some hits from RPGs, and you see the numbers. When the army arrived, they needed like a language to communicate between them, so they start to spray numbers on the houses, so they will be able to communicate with each other. There were many forces inside the kibbutz. As I mentioned, there is 3 bullets above, but as I mentioned, the IDF broke the door. And this is how it looks like. Pretty much, we're so lucky that the terrorists didn't do exactly the same. They could do that. This is our kibbutz. What you see, all the burned cars, at some point the Hamas thought it will be much more easier for them to literally burn the whole kibbutz. They thought that if the smoke will enter our safe room, we will all be choked by the smoke, and we will have to get out of the safe rooms, and then it will be much more easier for them to kill us. So this is how it looks like. On the photo above, I mentioned before, you saw the RPG anti-tank missile. This is how it looks like when the missile hit a safe room. Okay, later you will see the video from the other side, but this is what the Hamas used with their RPGs. All right, there was one guy inside the safe room, teenager, he was 19 years old. Unfortunately, he died. On the bottom one, on the photo of the bottom, you can see at some point when the army arrived, they entered the houses where the terrorists hide themselves. And many soldiers died entering those houses fighting against the Hamas, against the terrorists. So the army decided to bring tank, like Merkava tank, like you have the Abraham tank, to take down those houses with the terrorists inside. So what you see is when our tanks shooting cannon shells on our own houses, our own apartments. It's literally take down the whole house. It was on our WhatsApp group, and we couldn't even believe that we have a tank inside our kibbutz shooting cannon shells on our own houses. And for us, it was very hard to imagine it. Well, right before I came here to the States, I went back to Reim for the first time to take some videos of my kibbutz. It wasn't easy for me, but I know how important it is that you people will see how it really looks like inside our kibbutzes. So this is how it looks like. This is the, now you will see the area where the tank took down the apartment. It's still now, after 7 months, it's still like that, okay? It's not like old video or something, it's from now. Now I entered the house where the RPG hit the safe room. Well, the guy inside had no chance. Like, you cannot, like, there is no chance that you will survive something like that. This is how it looks like. This is another house, which here I will pause. So you see there is two numbers, 43 and 44. Many of the Nova Music Festival escaped the music festival and they tried to hide themselves inside our kibbutz. They escaped and find a place to hide themselves inside our kibbutz. And they entered many apartments. So here there was two apartments, 43 and 44. In apartment 44, there were 3 girls that escaped the festival. Well, those poor girls got raped, not by 2 or 3 terrorists, by groups of terrorists. We have evidence for that, of course. The people, the members of the kibbutz that lived next to them said that they heard the screaming for hours, and suddenly it was quiet. I know the guys that took pictures of those girls. He said it was too awful to take those pictures. So this is what happened in apartment 44. It was too hard for me to enter this apartment. On apartment 43, well, there is another thing that I want that you will see. You see this sticker here? We have in Israel an organization called Zaka. Zaka, they are the ones that if there is bodies, they are the ones that coming and pick up those bodies, okay? So Zaka, when in houses that there is stickers, it means that there is not only bodies inside. You don't like, not all the houses has stickers like this. When you have stickers like this, it means that there is not only bodies, there is parts of bodies as well, and they are entering to search for it. And if they are putting the stickers, it means that they already search for parts, like bones, teeth, all those parts of things. Also in this apartment, there were many guys from the Nova Festival. They tried to escape, so they entered this apartment, but for them it pretty much, they tried to fight with the terrorists, and the terrorists burned the whole apartment with those guys inside. You see, there is a place without ash. This is the only place that my wife wanted to stand. She was too afraid to walk on the ash. Like me, she said she doesn't know really if, like, there is parts, like people parts. This is our apartment that been burnt. Looks like. This is another apartment. This is one of the oldest olive tree in the kibbutz. It's very symbolic that they burnt it. This is house. Literally, they burned the house with people inside. The only thing that left is the concrete and the aluminum frames. Everything was burnt or melted. You can look at the toilet. You can look at the sink. It's all was melted. They want to make sure that they are doing a good job. 100%. They had only one meaning to do that. They even went to the safe room. This is a safe room. They burned the safe room as well. They wanted to be sure that they are doing their job good. This video is like a big house of like a big family. At that time, there was the parents, their daughter, and their son. the guy that is taking the picture is a good friend of mine that took this video. They were still there, and on our WhatsApp group, they said that the Mahomes family's house getting burned, and we need to rescue them. So the security team came under fire, and they rescued the family. They took them out from the window under fire, 6 guys. Those families, there's a daughter that she's 100% disabled, so she can only lay over, she cannot even sit. And it was very complicated, but they managed to do that. The security team they had to risk their life to take this family out. And this is how it looks like. This is a photo that we took after about 32 hours after we escaped. We left the kibbutz. We took these photos. Well, the things that I saw there after we escaped the kibbutz, there were many, like 10, 12 Hamas pickup trucks just out of our kibbutz. Still, lots of ammunition, any kind, any type of ammunition that you people can imagine. There were like all the burnt cars that you saw. I saw them all burning. I saw many bodies, and to be honest, I have no idea if the bodies was like civilians or soldiers or terrorists. And I was so afraid that those kids will see it. But as we left the kibbutz, it's the first time that they could have get a proper sleep, so they went to sleep right away. So we thought that they didn't saw anything, but they did. So they're the real warriors, they're the real heroes. They behaved and act so beautiful. They're like mature pretty much. They were amazing. I would like to dedicate my lecture for 2 people. The first one is Roy. Roy is an American citizen. He born here in the States, in the United States, and his family made Aliyah to Israel. Roy was my commander in the army. And the first time actually that Roy saved my life was in the army during my service. The second time, Roy, as he heard that there is a big war going on, he lives up north of Israel.